5:30 in the morning, and I thought I wanted to sit here and want to talk to you about something. I was reflecting on some old literature. And years ago, I was doing a group with some young people between 18 and 25, and I had been reading this material about Joe Marshall on the West Coast, and had been into some literature and some tapes on Street Soldier. And it's very interesting because one of the things that he had in here, he had a concept he called hood disease. And hood disease is something you catch in your neighborhoods. And he said, how do you catch it? You catch it from your homeboys. And he said, hood disease, which is HIV, not the HIV that we know, but a hood-infected virus. Things you learn in your neighborhoods. And he said, and if you don't put it in check, you're going to end up with full-blown AIDS, which stands for Addicted to Incarceration and Death Syndrome. And I saw a lot of this, and I for some reason, for whatever, there was something I was feeling, and I got out, and I started doing what I needed to do. It's a very difficult thing to do, and so that's why I'm sharing. You know, he said you need doctors, and who are the doctors? The people who were sick in the neighborhood and got cured and came back as the doctors to spread the message in the neighborhood. And he had kids coming from the hardcore streets. He said, what am I doing teaching mathematics in school? And the kids ain't living out the weekend. So he decided to formulate the Omega Boys Club. And one of the interesting things, and it's very difficult when you got a short period of time like now in a video to share with people, is there was this young hardcore brother, and he felt as though he didn't want nothing to do with religion. He just wanted to make a lot of money. Sound familiar? Check this out, though. I'm going to try to put this in the cadence, but I think it's important for us to feel things. You know, when we feel things and we feel people, this is what changes people. Check out what he stated here when it came to spirituality. Brother said, even when I was going to college, I was going for the wrong reasons. My values were messed up. I was going to college to make a lot of money. In America, everybody wants the finer things. But if getting things is first in your life, you're messed up, man, because we have a fallen nature. We feel that material things make up substance. The material thing can't be who you are. It can't be your substance. You have to make God your substance. The answer is changing your values, and the only one who can really change your values is God. Now check this out. I felt good when I read Malcolm X and learned about Black history, but there was something still missing. I felt good when I got up and spoke at the club and people got excited and gathered around me, but there was something still missing. I was somebody who always said, I'm never going to be a Christian. That's the white man's religion. They ain't doing nothing for the black man. But when I walked into my church, the presence of God was there, and that void within me was suddenly full. God showed me that unless a man's inner self is changed, he's not really changed. I'm not talking about going to church or making confession or praying 5 times a day to Allah. That's duty. I'm talking about who you are. When your inner substance changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. Everybody's focus is always on the outside. We need more programs. We need more structure. No. Society needs to be changed from within. People need to change from within. You have to understand who you are. You don't do right because it's the right thing to do. You do it because that's who you are. God loves you because he is love. That's his very nature. And when a person's nature is pure, they're not going to do anything but what's right. That's who they are. When I met Jesus Christ, I walked by the cold beer in the store and I didn't want it. They passed the joint to me at a party now and I don't want it. How come? Something's different inside of me. You remove sin by not wanting to sin anymore. I don't want to cheat on my wife. I don't want to smoke weed. When I gave my life to the Lord, I began to learn discipline. The problem in the black community is sin. But the values of the black community only reflect the values of America. Money is the heartbeat of America. America portrays that in order to be somebody, you have to have money, power, and fame. We're getting all the wrong information. Black kids are seeing the same thing on TV as they're seeing on the streets. Violence is a way of life on TV. Most of the shows for teenagers are based on sex. Most of what you see on TV is sex, sex, sex. We can't try to change that from the outside. We have to change it from within. There are a lot of guys running around saying we need to save the black community, but they're not committed to their wives, to their families. They're not committed to taking care of the kids, to being on time for work every day. And that's what we need. We need to teach kids commitment. It's by a gentleman named Maceo Dickerson. And it says Maceo's experience has essentially formed him anew and for the better, but it's not one that we can reasonably expect many other brothers to share. The bottom line is to change if you're not doing right, or if you're doing right, stay that way. And that's bottom line. You have to decide what you're going to do. You know, I work on myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Been doing that really stopped poisoning myself for over 27 years straight. I decided to do it. I decided to take myself where I needed to be. You know, I just get into literature, into things that help me stay that way. But, you know, I sat down with my God and I felt exactly what he's talking about. And I'm 61 years old. Man, you got to be kidding me. But you got to do it for you. You ain't going to do it for me or nobody else. I'm just sharing materials of other people who are doing it. And when you decide you want to do it, if you decide you want to do it, there's plenty of examples out here. Remember this. When a student is ready, the teachers will appear. And last but not least, everything you need can be taught. But it's going to have to be caught by you. One.